Hello, Gemini. Nicholas Ashbaugh here. Welcome to your April reading. Hope everybody's doing well. In the background, we have Apollo welcoming you into the reading as well. Let's get started. This, as always, will help you navigate the next 4 or 6 weeks, helping you see challenges, opportunities, and everything in between. I always like to begin with channeled messages, and what I saw today for your sign was a need to slow down. Actually, there was an image of someone going in, driving in a car, and it just felt like it was going too fast and it was difficult to get control of the car again. So, for those of you that may feel rushed to complete something under a deadline, rushing yourself or pushing yourself to get something done just because you want to get it off your plate, the message today, and also as we kind of look at the month ahead, is it's better to be strategic. It's better to take your time. Invariably, this is going to save you from having to fix any mistakes that come from rushing. But more importantly, there's a general question just around direction. Where are you trying to go? What is this? How does this fit into the sort of strategy of the next sort of step in your life? Sometimes we just, keep going and going and going without asking ourselves that question. And if there is sort of a strategic reason why you're doing something, then so be it. But if not, it's better to slow down and explore the options. Just like if you're driving, if you get lost, driving further, driving faster doesn't get you unlost. It just takes you further from your destination. It's better to pull the car over, check your phone, talk to someone, check your bearings as well. Other things that I'm getting in this moment in real time is I'm seeing like cooperation being really important too in this month. So cooperation, collaboration, and community. People. A lot of people are coming forth in this month ahead. And one of the challenges for you could be how to navigate an increase in your sort of social activities, how to deal with a lot of different personalities in the room. If you've ever been in a party where there's a lot of people and they're loud and everyone's talking over each other, it can be discombobulating. Or if you're in an office space and everyone wants to be the boss, it's sort of like, what am I supposed to be doing? So I'm getting that there's big personalities. You deserve a seat at that table too. Don't be afraid to ask a question, articulate your point of view, or also just say, hey, let's give everybody a chance to talk first without everyone talking at once. Like it's sort of like there needs to be more organization, more leadership. And those are the two big things that came through. So let's look at the cards and see how these channeled messages overlay with that and whatever else Spirit wants to convey. As always, I like to set intentions as we begin. Imagine that you're sitting at the beach and that you can trace a circle in the sand around your body. Know in this circle of light that you are safe. In fact, see the sun overhead. Fill that circle up with radiant sunlight. Feel that safety, feel that connection. And in this safe space, let's call in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Major changes here. Okay, let's get started with your catalyst, Belladonna. This is a very nuanced catalyst. Belladonna, of course, meaning beautiful woman, but when we look at the flower that bears the same name, it can be poisonous. It's not always what it seems to be. So there's a little bit of the energy of the Seven of Swords here, and even the moon. So the first message is to be curious, discerning, and cautious, especially when it comes to new endeavors, new relationships, new opportunities. Go beneath the surface. This is why it's important not to go rushing in, because we don't want to have like a crash and burn moment with that, metaphorical car. We want to stay on the path. We want to make it to the destination. We want to be safe and clear and concise. On the flip side, this is a very alluring energy, and it means that your charisma, your charm, and your general sort of magnetism, it's kind of amping up this month, and you can use that to your benefit. All right, let's see what else is coming forth. So I always like to just scan the cards and see how it's all sort of organized here. So what I see here is a busy month, first and foremost. Again, focus. Focus is so important. Slowing down and then taking action. Ultimately, it's pretty good. We're not seeing Devil, Tower, Ten of Swords. We're not even seeing any of the blindfolded cards. The challenge here is that the change is a big part of this. So let's just do this one step at a time. We'll start with the Eight of Wands, a busy month. This represents a lot of movement. Most of the movement taking you towards that destination that you're trying to get to, but there could be some distractions. There could be some spinning of wheels. So if that happens, pump the brakes, look around, think to yourself, is this helping me? Is this worth my time and energy right here, right now? And then you can decide if you want to put more into it. Eight of Wands in reverse can also be an encouragement. I mentioned people, community. It's a hidden community card. Where do you think all of these wands are coming from? Other people, ostensibly people on your team, in your family, in your group of friends. Sometimes when we're just busy, we forget to check in, to ask for help, to lean on other people, to have them kind of connect with us. You're not alone. That's what I get with this. Also take a moment to just smell the flowers and enjoy right here, right now. We're always rushing to a goal. Like I can't wait until I'm married, or I can't wait until I retire, or I can't wait until graduation, thinking that somehow that one moment will solve everything. Today is the most powerful day because you're here and you're making moves that will change tomorrow. So don't live in the past, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Don't live in the maybe, perhaps energy of the future. Live in the now. I am. And that will help you be more productive, be more appreciative, and connect with the people around you, okay? That, I think, is why we have this very mindful judgment card. Look at how the angels tuning in. Look at how the souls are rising up. This is one of my, depending on the illustration, it tends to be one of my favorite cards in the major arcana because literally in some decks, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the reincarnation energy. So you are free to do something different. You are free to not repeat the past. You are liberated from some sort of a cycle that perhaps made you feel like you were stuck. This is the card of being unstuck, liberation, freedom. But you have to believe it. So the angel is saying, can't you see it? It's already there. Believing will help you see the path. The souls are rising up and saying, okay, I think I understand now. And also it's a whole new world. This month, everything has changed. This whole year has been, it feels like every day has been, wow, that's different. That's a new chapter. I wasn't expecting that. So use it to your advantage. You can reinvent yourself. You can step into something new. Feel it and see it here. Feel it and see it here. And then it comes into the physical. Okay? This is a great time for spiritual development, meditation, working on yourself, all comprised within this card. Something may come to pass. You may be stepping through a significant portal this month. This could be marriage, graduation, new relationship, stepping out of a relationship, divorce. This could also be a decision that you want to change. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this anymore. So what do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Once you've decided it, and we can see the decision making in the angel, then everything starts to facilitate. Really powerful so far for you. Okay, deep past. I'm glad you're moving beyond this. If it's going to show up, I want to see it here. We have Four of Pentacles. Basically, I like to refer to this card as the devil that you know. Sometimes we hold on to a person, place, or thing because it's convenient, because it's safe, because it's there, not because it's enough. So you're learning this month that you're worth more. And I love that central pentacle is close to the heart. Love yourself, accept yourself, value yourself enough to say, this isn't enough, or I don't want to do this anymore. And that's what the Judgment card is starting to realize. I need or want or see more. So it's time to release the things that do not lift you up, the things that do not satisfy, that do not support in the way that you need, that you deserve, that you've worked to accomplish. I like that it's reversed. It's just about letting go. It takes a little bit of time to let go, so I understand that. Before we move on to Ace of Swords, I just noticed something really magical about this. So death, of course, is death and rebirth. Judgment, of course, is reincarnation, and this is release. So there's a central theme of letting something go, because once you do that, now we're going to get into this, it allows you to focus on something else. Ace of Swords is action, but it also is communication, and it's focus, and it's the number one. And so for many of you, it's saying, I got to let that go so I can focus on this one thing. That central ability to really fixate and focus, and we even see it in the Judgment card, focus, is going to be so essential to your success, your happiness, your ability to sustain. So make a choice. That's the main thing here. I choose this. I want this. You can say it. You can speak it into existence. If there's something that you want to change, if there's something that you want to affect in the environment, in your life, in the world, you say it to yourself and then you say it out loud. Then you say it to someone else. Then you write it in a proposal. Say it as much as you can until it actually sticks. And that's what I get with this. This is a good month to take action. It could represent a new beginning. Someone could be offering you a job, an opportunity, asking you out. There's a communication and there's a question with the Ace of Swords. With all aces, the universe is also saying, do you want this? Are you ready? What do you want? And all of that comes through with this as well. Possibilities. Absolute. Amazing card to come forth right now. So far, I'm really excited because this is a beautiful spread here. We'll get into all of this, but so far, super transformative. What we have to keep looking at here is your ability also to pull things in. The belladonna represents beauty and magnetism, so don't underestimate your ability to pull things into existence. All right, folks, often misunderstood, but something not to be feared. We have the death card here in the crowning position. I'll pull the traditional one while we're talking, but death basically represents stepping through a portal. And it's an indiscriminate card, meaning that every step of life is beholden to the energy of death and transformation. Like literally birth and death are two of the biggest events in your life. So on the death card, you'll see a child and you'll see an older person. But status doesn't hold you back from having to kind of be a part of this. So we also see like a pope and a king. We see a child, we see a mother. Every step, every part of life is subject to the energy of change. So it's not necessarily a literal death. It's a figurative change or movement, but sometimes it stings in the same way. How interesting is it that the banner of the death card has basically a flower here? It could be a rose. In this case, it could be a belladonna. It's saying there is beauty in change. There's a wonderful song by Imogen Heap. I can't remember if she did it solo or if it's part of Frou Frou, but the line is there's beauty in the breakdown, right? And if you can embrace the breaking down and the building up, construction, destruction, it all kind of works together, and just see it as an ebb and flow, then you're going to have a much easier time in this wonderful journey of life. So let something go and have some fun with the ability to move into the unknown. And death is also possibilities. What do you want next? What are you looking for next? Okay? Thankfully, this month, it is clarified with beautiful cards here. This is it's just an ellipse, ... And right here, right at the center, we already see something else coming through. Right here, we already see something else coming through. Now we have the Chariot. And in this particular illustration, it's almost like she has Ganesha with her. I love that the elephant is coming through. Elephants represent intelligence, grace, power, and Also, the ability to remove an obstacle because Ganesha is connected with the elephant. So if something stood in your way once, not so much now. But the Chariot is a card of power, control, action, and movement. So as long as you keep moving, you're fine. I said this, I can't remember if it was in a recent reading or the weekly collective, but the only way out is through. So although you may want to go backward in time to something before, or you wish you could just take a detour, the universe is saying, no, you got to get through this. It's going to be better. But it requires this, it just requires moving through it and releasing, okay? Interestingly enough, we don't have two horses or two animals here. We just have two people. The person that's riding the elephant. Cooperation, collaboration. You might need to pull new people into this because normally there's either two sphinxes if we go back to the old Rider-Waite-Smith card, or sometimes two horses in a modern deck. So it feels like you're a little bit short, a little bit shy of the resources that you might need. So reach out and ask for help if you want to, okay? Travel may play a pivotal role. The Chariot can represent any form of travel, whether it's a plane, a train, an automobile, foot travel, it doesn't matter. This could be a month where you're having to do a little bit more of that. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And again, you're not rushing because that's when I saw things getting a little bit unwieldy. So less is more, slower is better. All right, I love what we see here coming through for you. We have the Queen of Wands, and it really reminds you anything can happen. The card is reversed, but the ability for movement, growth, and opportunity, again, it sits all here in the crown chakra, and I love how golden it is right around the crown. If we were to compare this with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, what we can see is she can make the impossible possible. She's standing there in the desert, yet in her hand, she has that beautiful sunflower that's growing. We see the cat representing intuition, second chances, like the ninth life. And, because cats have 9 lives. And then we see the beautiful energy around her crown, again, which is golden, which is bright, which is powerful. And so you can think your way through a challenge this month, but you might be overthinking it. That's what I'm getting as I look at this card in the reversed position. Allow yourself to wonder, could this be easier than I'm making it out to be? Could there be an easier solution? Could there be something else that I'm not considering? Keep an open mind. I love that she is strong, powerful, and a little stubborn, but sometimes that stubbornness can become closed-minded. So that's the one thing to avoid this month is either closing the opportunities before they open or expecting something so specifically that if it shows up a little different, you might somehow discount it. Stay open, okay? Listening is really important. And by the way, if you can't kind of like articulate it, show it. This is a great card for demonstration, for illustration, for prototyping. We have curiosity and we have confusion potentially here in the environment. This isn't necessarily you, it could be someone else, and there could be this kind of energy, like what's this and what's that? And I talked about at the very beginning, all the voices in the room trying to talk at once. That's what this is. And it's sort of like, well, what am I supposed to, what do I take away from this, right? And you can ask the question too. You could say, this sounds great, but I'm not certain I'm clear on what we're trying to accomplish here. So you can always try to get to the bottom of something, or just say, could you repeat that and break it down in simple terms? Like sometimes people just go too far, or they're using, colloquial terms or technical terms that obscure the true meaning. So ask your question, raise your hand, get clarity. This can also simply be an encouragement from the universe for you to narrow the options, the field, and say, all right, rather than looking at 7 or 8 things, why don't I just look at 1, 2, or 3? That's going to make it easier for me to dig deeper and get a better understanding. More isn't better, and we talked about that earlier. There might just be too many things. What I usually do here when that happens is I'll pick the 1 or 2 that are obvious, like, yes, let's go for that. I'll pick the ones that are obviously not, and then you can focus on the 2 or 3 that are in the middle, and that's going to help you get to that top 3 or top 5 rather than having all of these options floating around, okay? But when in doubt, ask a question, and that's the big takeaway here, and less is more. Keeps coming through. 9 of Cups. A little bit of a balancing act this month. I love that she's showing that she can do all of this, and she's celebrating her ability to multitask. So this is a card of wish fulfillment, success and celebration. The Eight of Wands is the busyness. This is actually the juggling card, even though they've chosen to illustrate it a little differently here. Normally, it's just a lot of good stuff. That's the Nine of Cups. It can also be extremes. In this case, it might be overdoing it, like working too much, overextending yourself to too many activities. And there is an encouragement here not to add anything extra to the equation. Also, if you're feeling super amazing about something or super critical, try, just like I was talking about discounting the highs or lows, same sort of things there, or the extremes. Let's not go to the extreme this month. Let's try to stay balanced and in the middle. She's doing a pretty good job overall, but one more thing, it could make that a little bit more intense. So this is in hopes, fears, and opportunities. Reading it in a different light, your dream, your wish could come true. What you speak to the universe here, it hears, you make a change, and then there's a celebration here. So this is a great month to manifest. Let's look at your outcome. Knight of Pentacles, but the Knight is reversed. Also, the Knight is absent from the card. When was the last time you took a break? For those of you that work really, really hard and are kind of feeling like this energy of it's a balancing act, a constant balancing act, acknowledgement is coming through here. This is the universe also coming forth, and it's a GPS. It's saying, do you have what you need? And do you know where you're going? So for the do you have what you need portion, if not, speak up. This card is about taking care of yourself. Stopping the action so that you are okay. Preventative maintenance, to go back to that whole car metaphor. Is everything in proper working order? Do you have the time, the energy, the support, the health, all of that so that you can go the distance? Otherwise, the tires are going to roll out. You're going to run out of gas. Again, taking the metaphor, and we don't want that to happen. The where you're going is so important. Going back to just driving but being lost, it's just going to take you further away. It's so much better to just stop for a second. Stop, reassess, get the GPS direction, understand where you're at and where you want to go. So I feel there's a necessary pause this month. Also, right beneath it is the card of joy and celebration. Slow down, celebrate the progress you've made, get clear, and then really think about all of the different options that maybe you'd closed yourself off to. Something may come through when you slow down. An idea may come through, okay? Let's go ahead and expand this a little bit deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. We have a beautiful card coming forth here, abundance. So even if you feel like in the past, I don't have what I want or didn't have what I needed, it's changing now. And part of it is just believing that I am worthy. Even if I don't see it yet, it's coming because I'm also compelling, I'm alluring. I can pull this into my sort of periphery. There could be new love coming forth. There could be new opportunity coming forth. This is an Ace of Cups, basically. And with the Ace of Cups, you can go anywhere. It's the card I look for prior to relationships coming through, prior to just general happiness and well-being. If you're not there yet, make sure that your cup is overflowing. Happiness, support, fulfillment. Make sure you're finding things in your life that are making that sort of overflowing energy come forth, okay? And know that you are capable and you are worthy. All right, so as we're looking at the center, Judgment is a wake-up call. And Death card can represent something that you want to change in your own trajectory. Maybe there's a family history that you want to avoid, whether it's blood pressure or heart attacks or hypertension or whatever. You can make choices today. Remember what I said? We don't want to be fear-based, worrying about what might happen. We don't want to beat ourselves up about what has happened. What we want to do is decide, this is what I'm going to do. We want to take action. This is how I'm going to make it happen. We want to let go of the things that don't serve us and step into something new. The good news is those pivotal change cards are here at the center. They've either happened or they're happening, and the cards in the outcome area and the movement area are all very favorable. Heed the call. Heed the wake-up call. Speaking of that, speaking of wake-up call, sleep and rest are really important. They're two of the most powerful, it's the same thing. Rest can just be pulling back a little bit. It doesn't have to be like actually sleeping. So making time to meditate, giving yourself space to just relax, but also the act of sleeping. This is so powerful in rejuvenation, in healing, and in recalibration. Make sure that you're getting enough and you have a consistent sleep-wake cycle. You might be holding on to stress, and in this case, it's important to work with somebody that can help you, whether it's a therapist or you're going to channel that into exercise or doing something with your hands, creating or something, it doesn't matter, but I see a little bit of holding on to stress here. Queen of Wands and this card connected. This is very cognitive. This is a lot going on here. There could just be too many things racing through your mind. What about this? What about that? How are we tracking on this? So this is also taking a deep breath and realizing that there's not a lot to be gained from all of that movement. Slowing down and taking it one thought at a time, one day at a time, one breath at a time. And breath in general is really fantastic meditation. Avoid extremes. This can be over-exercising, this can be too much caffeine, this can be any vice in your life. We want to avoid that. And this can be overindulgence here. And ultimately, once you've done that, it looks pretty good. Most of these things are pretty manageable. So let's move on. Let's take a look at the energy of wealth, your resources, life purpose, and career. The oracle card here is displacement. And I get it. Look, we got 2 cards of change. So some of you may find yourself in a brand new sort of space, a new job, a different position, a new environment, geographical, energetic. Relationship status may change, lots of stuff that could be going on. And this displaces your sort of focus. So it could be physical, could be emotional, could be metaphysical, whatever it is, this too shall pass. And we already see it happening here in the crossing card of judgment. You're moving through something, it feels intense now. It looks like it was a necessary and imminent change anyway. And now it's just a matter of moving into the energy of possibilities. Let's break this down into 5 subcategories so I can get a better feel for how all of you are doing here. So we're going to look at those of you that currently have a job, followed up by those that own their own company. Interesting. And then we'll take a look at those of you that are looking for work, students, and retirees. Let's see how all of this breaks down. All right, for those of you that are presently employed, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. This is rising above any sort of conflict, challenge, or communication that's just really not productive. So you're kind of clamping it down at the beginning saying, well, wait a second, that's not what we discussed. Or how about we regroup tomorrow? I think we've talked it through today as much as we can. So diffusing, sometimes rescheduling, sometimes simply just not taking the bait. So there may be challenges from others. There could even just be the inner saboteur that you need to kind of push back, that voice that says, we can't do this, or you're not good enough, etc. So we're going to dismiss that. We're going to diffuse other things, and you're going to rise above and really show people, how it's done. So lead by example. That's basically what I get, especially since this card is in reverse. Now, if there is somebody that is unready, unwilling, or unable for whatever reason to receive the message, it's not the right time. Find someone who is, wait until that person also might be more receptive, or move on. The next card in the suit would be 6 of Swords, so it might be better to just move in a different direction. Other messages that we see here. You may be ready to move in a new direction yourself here with the judgment. It's about what you want and accepting the changes that are already happening within and around you. And for some of you, it's a decision, I need to move in a new direction. Change is the ultimate message this month. So something's changing. Either your role, your focus, your goal, your desire, whatever that change is, lean into it. Whatever you want, speak the change or the desire into existence. I think it's important here to be open-minded, again, to cut through any confusion or abstract communication. And ultimately, we see you accomplishing your goal. This is leadership. This is celebration of a goal coming to fruition. This is slowing down to take care of yourself. Overall, it's a pretty good month. But the challenge is communication and change. Are you ready for it? Can you get past this? Okay? Let's move on from those of you that have a job to those that might have your own company. You received the Devil card, which basically is an encouragement to be discerning. I mentioned something may not be what it seems, the belladonna energy. Go beneath the surface. There could be a contract in front of you that doesn't satisfy your needs. Maybe it's not giving you enough of a return. We'll talk about that in a second. Whatever it is, better to deal with it right here, right now, than to push it off. This is also sometimes a card of control. And I'm going to turn the camera down so we can see everything. Sometimes it isn't worth doing everything yourself. What I see here is a middle manager, the Chariot, so it might be good to hire an assistant, a second person in control that you can kind of let go of some of the, because this is control, this is control, this is collaboration and cooperation. Like I said, it was the second piece of the channeled message. So letting go of some of the need to kind of like touch and do and drive everything could be very good. Having a co-pilot. So that's one message. Other things. Four of Pentacles is not enough. We're going to get there, though, with the Knight of Pentacles. That requires you sitting at the table and saying, here's where I can compromise. Here's where we're falling short. Here's what I need from you. And then listening to see what someone says. So being willing to compromise on some things, but standing up for what matters, including making sure that you get a fair deal when it's a contract. This is a one-sided deal. Making sure that your vision is being executed to your desire, to your expectation, and then making a necessary change. Being willing to walk away. I actually feel like there might be something where it's better to, I mentioned Six of Swords for the previous section, but like for you too, it might be better to sometimes just say, if we can't reach this agreement, it might suit both of us to look in a new direction. So if you have to be willing to call your bluff, have a plan B if that happens, but change for sure. Now, this can just be growth, folks. This is like a snake shedding its skin or a moth coming out of a cocoon. This could be a moment for you to move into something bigger, because this is the penultimate card, second to last. The world comes after this. So this is why you might need to hire help or lean on some support of someone else. I think the big opportunity, just looking at your business overall, is clarity. The Seven of Cups is rarely clear. It's usually all over the place. Particularly if we're looking at messaging. Let's be very clear, very singular, very focused. And this is very focused, like literally this person's concentrating or the angel's concentrating. Celebrate the success of your employees. Recognition is so important with the Nine of Cups. And then if something doesn't make the cut, that's okay. So if there's something that you've been doing, whether it's a product, a service, or something of that nature, and people aren't interested or it's not performing, it's time to do less and do it better. All right, moving onward. For those that are job seeking, there might be a second chance, an opportunity that comes knocking here. Eight of Cups portends good things. It is also a card connected with travel, just like the Chariot. So you might be asked to travel for work. You might have to move to get the opportunity. Don't be surprised if you have to. There's a lot of follow-up energy with this. So you might need to follow up because someone's out of the office. Something may fall through and a desired candidate isn't there and someone comes back and says, hey, are you still interested? Don't take it personally. This is just about the timing. So I do feel like if you're patient, if you're persistent, if you follow through, something can happen this month. But there may be 2 rejections first. Then we have something that actually, maybe something starts, it gets rejected, then it comes back around. So there's something a little bumpy at the beginning, but then it gets better. I think it's really important as we look at these 2 cards for you to get what you need financially. We don't want you putting so much forth, like an effort and energy, and not getting it back when it comes to pay and recognition. There's entrepreneurial energy coming forth here with this as well, with the Queen of Wands. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, if I can't find it, if it's not out there, maybe I can build it. You may need to get a loan in that case. It does look like you can get that, but make sure that you're not underestimating the amount of work, the time and energy that it takes as well to make this happen. Where and when can you find it? Well, there's a lot going on right now, and it does feel like the challenge is getting its timing. So I do feel like some of the messages are missing people. One of them should land. There's a couple rejections. I think that what you want to do to make your resume and application more actionable is it's the clarity here. Make sure that however you're organizing or inputting it, because I know a lot of it's digital now, sometimes you can work with someone to help you, but make sure that the words are very searchable, because sometimes now it's AI, you're kind of training it for that. But the keywords, less is more, clearer is better. And then if you have a chance to do something like a portfolio, for those of you that might be designers, artists, etc., edit your portfolio. One piece of advice, I used to be an art director in once upon a time and an art manager. If you don't want to do a certain type of work, take that out of your portfolio. If there's something that you're not proud of, take that out of your portfolio. Really put the stuff in there that represents your vision, your strengths, and the type of work that you'd like to do again. Same thing with a resume. That's why as we get further along in our career, we take out, no one really cares what sorority you were in or, what sort of thing that you did in high school at a certain point. They're really looking more for how do you take your skills and make them happen? It's projects, it's the length of time that you were at jobs, things like that. So we kind of change the priority and the organization as we get further in our career. Okay, moving onward. Speaking of that, let's take a look at students. Students, exactly what I'd want to see for you. Three of Pentacles. This represents learning and recognition and higher learning at that. So fantastic. Some of you might want to go into an advanced degree beyond this. Some of you might be really focusing on writing right now as well, communication skills. All of that looks amazing. Let's just look at it generally speaking, though, for all of you. Okay, some of you have come back and you're finishing something, whether it's high school, college, or a trade school. Maybe you had to put it to the side because of money, because of helping out family, having a kid, whatever it was. You're coming back and it's a second chance. Some of you changed your major. Some of you transferred to a new school. Some of you have had 2 false starts, but it's a really good trajectory this time. Whatever the past was, remember, we're not living in the past. We're living right here. We're making a contract and a commitment with ourselves and we're following it through, okay? I like where you're headed. I see that there's been some hiccups for some in the past. Some of you just want to change the world. I hear you. I feel it. How can we make this world a better place? How can you use your ideas to be the banner of change that we see here? Whatever that means for you, go for it. This is the time where I think we need it. We really need it more than ever. So be the voice of reason and the voice of change. Pay attention to your finances. Student loans follow you throughout your life. For those that live in the US, I know for other countries, bless you for not having the same sort of payment process that we do here. But let's also just look at time and energy investment, making sure that you are fully vested and fully invested in this path and this course. Because if you do that, again, success awaits. All right, moving onward. Retirees. I love that this is a chance to dream and to reimagine and say, what's next? What's possible? Why not? This is a card filled with possibilities, and it's not as confusing as the 7 of Cups. She's just looking at 1 or 2 things on the horizon and saying, yeah, I think that feels right. Give yourself time to meditate, to dream, and to imagine. And normally that's a globe that the 2 of Wands person would be holding. So they look at the globe and they say, I'm here and I want to go here. What can I do to make it happen? Many of you have been through some things and then some. This is survival energy if I've ever seen it. 1 or 2 amazing chapters in your life where you rose up. Use that energy now to affect like what you choose to go to next. Have some fun. 9 of Cups. Partying, celebrating, connecting with like-minded individuals. The Chariot. Moving forward and some travel again could be really fun. And it doesn't have to be, hopping on a plane. This can just be walking or going in your car. Whatever you want to do, there could be some local travel that might be nice as well. All right, let's get into the next category. I was ready to shuffle the cards, but let's talk about what we're looking at first. Love. The oracle card for love is divine connection. And so relationships this month are going to a deeper level. We see her what? Going beneath the surface. The temptation here is to stay on the surface, but you have to go deeper. And that's what I was mentioning with Belladonna. Something that looks one way may end up being something else. And so it's important to go deeper. And before I even pull the cards here, we have karmic energy. This is a karmic partnership, judgment and death, past lives. And it's This lifetime, it's how can we change? One thing that I see here already before I even pull the first card is, for those of you in a relationship, there's been this tendency to want to, like, one wanted to stay and one wanted to run. So it was this control energy. So we're releasing some of that energy of control and allowing whatever needs to be to be. Already got that as I was beginning. The cards just want to fly everywhere. So there's a lot that wants to come through. All right, so those in a relationship. And we have a third rebirth card. So absolutely past life karma. Okay, those in a relationship, those that are looking for love, and those that are happily single. As I just said, Four of Swords, past life energy. The past life energy, which I want to talk about first, is this, the one that got away. Because I feel like the Four of Pentacles is trying to hold on to someone that was unavailable, maybe not interested on the same level, like so it was unrequited, or they just simply, it just didn't work, like ships in the night. So this lifetime, it's a chance to not force the connection. It's almost like let the person come to you. This is it's a very passive card, to be honest. So if you were the one that was chasing or seeking or felt like the person slipped through, this lifetime you are grateful for the second chance, but you are also aware that you're worth it. And that it's okay now for that person to come to see you for your value and worth. So you're worth it, and you're worth it enough to not force the connection. So that's what I get. And this is especially for those of you that may be at a point where you haven't gotten married yet, or you've been in the relationship for a bit, but there hasn't been the sort of like the commitment that you're looking for. Give it time, give this person a little bit of space, and then know that there's a point where if it's not enough for you, you can decide, I'm moving on this time. The power, the energy has shifted. Before you were chasing, wanting, needing. Now you're waiting to see if they've leveled up and if they see you for the value and worth that you bring. Now let's look at it from a much different perspective. That's karmic relationships. For all other relationships this month, or for people that have released the karma, here's what I see. Wow, it's been a year, really. And it's also going to be an interesting month, but I'm looking at some of the past and present intermixing here. Also, by the way, this is just two different versions. This is like the lovers here too. But you may have to deal with two rapid changes at once. Change of job, change of financial status, change of location. And whatever it is, you can do it together. But it is about making sure that there's collaborative and cooperative energy there. There could be a loss of a job, a loss of a loved one. There could be a decision to take a turn in your life. I want to do this. Your partner's like, I also want to do this. So navigating change together is a common theme. Control comes through as an opportunity, but also a challenge. Clear communication is the only place I see you getting tripped up this month. And then when it comes to just general together time, it's about making an effort. This is someone who doesn't put as much forth as this person. So it could be because one is more engaged and busy. It could be because they don't realize that that's necessary for healthy relationships. Whatever's going on, meeting in the middle is important. Some compromise, some together time, because it does look like the two of you might be focused on the change and activity in your life, but you also need to come together and help each other. So that's what I kind of pick up on. Overall, it's pretty manageable. This is a quiet card, but if we don't invest in the relationship, it also goes through this, which is that kind of quiet crickets, ghosting. So it is a card that, if not addressed, it can represent a relationship that's just getting sleepy. So how can you reinvigorate or sort of kindle the spark? Moving forward to those that are seeking love. Okay, Five of Pentacles. You're getting closer. The card was reversed, but it's about self-confidence, self-worth, and healing the inner child. There may be something from your past where it's just like, that still stings. It could be recent past, deep past. Someone didn't love me, support me, or see me for what I was worth. And until that is healed, you tend to find, it's kind of like duplicates or sort of like the same energy in a different font, and we don't want that. Here's what I see if you're looking for love. Can you find it? Yes. We have Queen of Wands, a lot of passion, very headstrong. We also have that it would be a great union overall. The Chariot energy is interesting because control issues come up in new relationships. I think that for many of you, the main focus here on to sort of like bring this energy in is financial healing, soul healing, and really working on the self-confidence. Once you do that, someone bold like this will see you and say, yes, let's do this. But there's a little bit of healing that needs to be done first. And anyone you meet, make sure you get a chance to get to know them. The belladonna energy can represent someone that is attached or someone that isn't all that they sort of put out there to be. Okay. For those that are single and happy, yes, you are. Congrats. We have the Queen of Cups energy coming through. The focus is more on just having fun, focusing on personal development, intuition, creativity. And this is still super magnetic. So if you want to meet new friends, if you need to gather people around you for a cause or an activity, this is a social butterfly. Look at her. She even has the wings there right around her eyes. So that's kind of what I see. Your social sort of sphere is lighting up quite a bit. There might be a couple of big things that you need to focus on, a couple of personal changes or energies. You might be dealing with the world that's changing. You're in your head a lot this month, so I think it would be good to spend some time with others or in activities that can help you get grounded a bit. Okay? Now let's move on to destiny. All right. Leap like you meant it. Interesting card. It's reversed. So if you're going to do something, really go for it. Like really take the leap of faith. I see someone here, because it's almost like this is a tree, who feels uprooted, who isn't ready to leap, because if you're already halfway in flight, you can't do it. You have to put your feet on the ground first, and the Knight of Pentacles was reversed. So take some time to ground yourself, to take care of yourself, to clarify, this is what I want, and then take that singular leap and do it with passion, intention, and a little bit of flair. All right. Now let's take a look at your final question. Whatever you still have that I haven't yet answered, this is your chance to put it out there to the universe to see what Spirit has to say. Yeah, we have a favorable card. To a yes-no question, it's a yes. The main thing here with the Page of Cups is saying to yourself, I'm worth it, I'm ready, let's do this. This is a great card for meeting new people, for starting new things. It's a card that also reminds you in this moment in time to speak with positivity, to act with positivity. You can attract more bees with honey than with vinegar. So I just get this loving, the word like, it's a loving vibe. If you can emanate that, so much amazing stuff can come your way. And we have a floral card here, which is also attracting pollinators and possibilities. So you can do it this month, yes, but communicate with positivity, move forth with that positivity. That in and of itself starts to become something that people really relate to. And that's when things get magical. All right, folks, that's everything for today. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new, or if you've been a longtime viewer and have never subscribed. That would absolutely make my day. We're really close to a milestone. We've been sitting on it for, it feels like, half a year. So let's get to the next milestone. We'll do something exciting. You can help me make that happen. Everyone else, hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. You can hit the bell icon to make sure that you never miss out on a future reading. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what resonated the most with you. If you'd like to show a little bit of extra love and support, absolutely optional, but super stickers, super likes, super chat, memberships, all of these help me do new things like a podcast. I've only done a couple because they are completely self-funded. So if you like what you see here and you'd like me to do more, again, those simple acts really go the distance. So thank you. You can also follow me across social media. It's my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms listed here. nicholasashbaugh.com on Blue Sky. You can go to my website if you ever need more information. That's nicholasashbaugh.com. And a reminder that I do not offer private readings, nor do I use direct messages, so always be mindful of that. Let me know if you see any imposters. All right, folks, that's everything for now. Wishing you all the best. Thank you for your love and support, for allowing me to be a part of your month. And you have a lot of choices here on YouTube, so thank you for choosing this channel. Wishing you all the best. Take care.